Are you a neurodivergent person who struggles with sensory issues? Specifically, are you noticing that those sensory issues are maybe impacting you in the bedroom with intimacy, maybe even sex? I have a fun activity that I want to do with you. Take like 3 minutes of your life. Okay, so here's what I want you to do. I want you to think about your senses, okay? Taste, touch, sight, smell, sound, and your body's senses as well. So proprioception, where your body is in space, interoception, interpreting your body signals. Am I hungry? Am I thirsty? Am I horny? Vestibular input, right? Am I dizzy? Am I moving all around? That kind of stuff. Now, I want you to find a moment of stillness because I'm throwing this at you kind of fast. And I want you to think about something you loathe, something you hate. Maybe it's a texture, a taste of flavor, a type of music that you don't really care for, a bad touch, right? Because there's a difference between like soft touch and hard touch. Okay, so I want you to think about something that you do not care for. And I don't know why I sound like Jiminy Glick. I don't know why I sound like Jiminy Glick. Anyway, and so once you kind of have that, I want you to sit with that yuck for a second and feel where it shows up in your body. It might not, and that's okay. You might just be aware of the fact that you don't like ranch dressing. But I tend to get like the ick, right? Where does the ick show up in your body? Okay. Shake that out, let that go. Okay, so now what I want you to do is I want you to think of a taste, a touch, a smell, a sight, a sound, a way of being, a way of touching, a way of moving that you love, that you really enjoy. Maybe it's a really sumptuous flavor. Maybe it's a really luxurious type of touch or feel. Maybe it's, Beethoven's Ninth when like the bass drops, right? Something that brings you joy and pleasure. Now I want you to feel where that shows up in your body. And again, you might not feel it like a lot, but notice if anything changes, if your breathing changes, if your heart rate changes, if you sit up a little straighter, if you can imagine it really well, okay? And now I want you to think about all of the ways in which all of your senses combine when we're talking about sex and intimacy. I want you to think of all of the different textures, all of the different flavors, all of the different smells, all of the different touches that are happening when you are engaging in intimacy. Now, a lot of times, how often are you enduring? How often are you putting up with a situation, an environment, a feeling that is less than ideal, that is less than comfortable, that is less than that feeling of pleasure and lightness in your body because insert your reason here. Maybe you feel like it's too much work. Maybe you feel like you're not worthy of the time and attention it would take to like really set up an environment that works for you. Maybe it's financial. Maybe it's time. Maybe you don't have a supportive partner, right? There's all sorts of reasons, all sorts of barriers as to why this might be happening. But what I have found is that when we can really dial back and we can really think about the places where we are experiencing pleasure, where we are really honestly and truly happy in those moments in our bodies, we are feeling safe and supported and seen, it's going to make for such better intimacy. So my challenge for you, my question for you is, are there places where you could find ways to improve? Are there places where you could change the music, change the sheets, change the lighting, change whatever in order to be even 1%, 3%, 5% more comfortable, 5% more. I got a text. It's okay though if 5%, 10%, 15%, 25%, 100%, if those feel really far away, if those feel unattainable, especially if you are a neurodivergent person whose needs have been dismissed or downplayed, or you've been told over and over that you're being dramatic or you're being needy, or all of those negative pieces of feedback that we hear all the time. But yeah, it's just a little fun exercise you can do. Just thinking about senses, thinking about how the senses show up in our lives, whether it be, during dinner time or during dinner time. Okay, bye. Have a good day. Let me know in the comments what you think.